Now, on the 14th of March, 21 Irish women set off to the Arctic to take part in a survival challenge, all with the hope of raising vital funds for Debra Ireland, a charity which raises much-needed awareness for people suffering with EB, which is otherwise known as butterfly skin, here in Ireland. Their 6-day trek was worth it, though. The team have already raised over €100,000, and joining us now to tell us more about it is former international rugby captain Caroline Clarke and Liz Collins, whose 14-year-old daughter Claudia has EB. You are both very welcome to the programme. You've just come back late Monday nights, so I'd say still on a high at this point.
Absolutely, just euphoric. Very, very hard to put into words. It was that good.
An emotional couple of days, I'd imagine. So tell me about, first of all, just tell me about what it was like over there. Describe for people the type of conditions that you were facing.
The conditions were really, really extreme. It was like kind of going back to the Stone Age times. Like, you had to literally fend for yourself, like in regards to collecting water, getting the fires going, keeping the base camp clean, cooking for the other women, cleaning up after. You were put into teams, so that we could, like, survival skills, really.
And what were the conditions like in terms of the temperature and that?
It was bloody freezing.
Right, so cold. So we think here in Ireland over the last couple of weeks that we've been dealing with Arctic temperatures. Have we?
No.
No. No. How cold, how freezing is freezing?
Just, you do adapt. Thank God that we were educated enough to bring the proper gear with us. But it was just really, really cold, which meant everything was twice as difficult in regards to the physicality of it.
Now, there was nobody sort of, you know, taking your stuff and walking alongside you while you sort of strolled around in the snow. It wasn't like that at all.
No, no place for divas, I'm afraid.
No,
you can leave your
not.
lipstick and your false tan at the door because you just got down and dirty.
And put on your ski boots and just go for it, or your snow boots.
You learned the skills from the really experienced guides that were there, and then kind of one a day in, you were out on the treks.
And how long were you trekking for?
15k out on the big trek and 15k back in, including 25 kg on a sled around your waist, and your haversack with all that gear as well to bring all the equipment into the camp that we were going to set up ourselves.
You're dragging all of that with you.
Yeah.
Caroline, how do you begin to train for that? Because I know we've had snow here in Ireland over the last couple of weeks, but we don't have those conditions. So what did you do here to get ready for this challenge?
Well, I guess for me, I've always taken an integrated approach to my training, you know, from a sports background. But I suppose physically, a lot of lower body strength, a lot of core work as well. So a mixture of interval training, cardio training, but also TRX, kind of CrossFit type training as well. Obviously, we did some training up in the mountains as well. Which helped. And then one of the areas that I looked at particularly was the skin, because the damage that's skin on snow. So I went through a series because I had a few broken noses from my sports days. So I was quite sensitive to that. So very much a holistic view. And then obviously meeting up with the girls a few times for team building was really important as well, so that we'd all be supportive of one of another when we got there, and
because
more like a team.
Did you need that support? I mean, I know everybody had done their training and everybody was mentally and physically ready, or as best as you can be, but it's quite different than to be there and to face that challenge every single day in those conditions. So did people struggle when they were over there, and did you need that sort of camaraderie and that team support?
Yeah, definitely. I think overall, though, I was hugely impressed with everybody there. I mean, I don't think there was anybody that really needed propping up, but a group of very strong women. But absolutely, I mean, when you're dealing with minus 25, sleeping in a tent, and everybody probably did have a low point. I mean, at one stage, I think we were travelling 3 miles uphill with 40 kg is quite tough, and you're doing what they call a herringbone up because you couldn't even ski. So, you know, we'd move around the group together and go back to the back and talk to people in the middle, and having a lot of fun, though, as well. I think I was called kamikaze half the time. So I was definitely there for entertainment value. But, yeah, so there was a real sense of support and egging people on if people were having a bit of a tough time, all right.
And the whole idea behind this, of course, was raising funds for Debra Ireland, of course, a charity very close to your heart, Liz, and we've had your lovely daughter Claudia on the programme before. The whole idea behind this was sort of, I suppose, to reflect the strength of mothers of children with EB, because you do need to be a strong person, don't you?
Absolutely. And maybe it wouldn't be something that you would identify within yourself prior to having a child. But for me, I can't heal Claudia. I can't ever fix her. So it kind of empowers me a little bit that I'm doing something. I'm creating awareness. I'm creating funds to go towards community care. I'm, you know, awareness. Awareness is key. We've really, really put EB on the map. And I just felt for other mothers who had maybe lost their children through EB. I'm the fortunate one. I still have my daughter, thank God. But by God, am I going to put EB on the map?
Because what difference will that make when you talk about awareness? Why is that important, Liz?
Because, like, going back to when Claudia was really, really small, like walking along the street with my daughter in a buggy, like, you know, like people staring and like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? Like, you know, while now people have a concept, oh, that's the butterfly condition, oh, that's EB, oh, that's the Debra logo. You know, people really, really have much more of awareness now, and I have seen that grow in the last 14 years hugely, and that's all down to Debra Ireland.
And you need that support, I'd imagine, both you and Claudia, because EB affects every single aspect of Claudia's life.
Yeah, there's nothing that you would take for granted. Eat and sleep and drink and going to the toilet, walking, her hands have fused, she's peg-fed. Yeah, every single aspect of her life is affected by EB. It's a horrific, horrific condition.
Of which there is no cure.
No, there isn't. And not on a negative slant, I don't think there will be a cure in Claudia's lifetime, unfortunately. But they are making great strides, and I do believe in my heart and soul in the next 10 years there will be a cure, and that's down to the likes of the fundraising that we have done on this Arctic Challenge.
So tell me about this fundraising. Was there a target when you set off, and what was it, and have you reached it? Have you exceeded it 10 times over?
I have exceeded. I think I've doubled my target.
Wow.
So I guess I was looking that we had an Ireland versus England Rugby Legends match as part of the Women's World Cup, so that was a great Kickstarter. And genuinely, it's been the generosity of all my friends, and every time I put a post up, a couple of hundred would come in. It's still coming in since I came back. So, but I think for me it was really important, the awareness piece, but getting that support, because you know Liz and all these parents need to be doing the role of parents and loving their kids and doing all the good stuff, and I'm really hoping this money will go towards giving them the relief that they need to enable them to do that, you know. So
it's more than just awareness. It is some sort of supports, practical supports in your life and Claudia's life, Liz.
Yeah, it becomes really, really personal. Like, I actually could feel off each and every woman that was on that team that they were there for Claudia, and they were there for every single person who has struggled with EB. You could nearly feel them pushing up the mountain, like where either Claudia having their back or the other children or the adults having their back and pushing them up that mountain. It really, really became personal. You know, it was amazing. It was actually so spiritual to watch.
Oh, well, congratulations, as always, for all of the work that you do. And to tell Claudia we were asking for her. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. At the moment, how much has been raised?
I think we've hit over 120, I think. So.
120,000. Yeah. No mean feat. Thank you so much, ladies. And if people want to support, they can also look up Debra Ireland.
Yes. They can indeed.